Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larson, and you're listening to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. And before we get started, I want to ask you the question, how often are you publishing? So here's the real mystery. How do real MLMers like us, who didn't cheat and only bug family members and friends, who want to grow a profitable home business, how do we recruit A players into our downlines and create extra incomes, yet still have plenty of time for the rest of our lives? That's the blaring question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name is Steve Larson, and welcome to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. All right, now before anyone messages me, are you saying that I should publish a book? Are you saying I should publish articles? That's, well, it's up to you, but that's kind of yes and kind of no. The answer to that, I guess. There was a guy a long time ago who I started following, and he started getting me into selling things online. This was before I ever joined an MLM. This is before, this is way back in the day for me. This is probably 5 years ago. And I started listening to his stuff, and he was great. He was really, really good. And I think it was him. I actually can't remember if it was or not. We'll say it was him. Anyway, he had this great podcast. His name was Pat Flynn. And I went and I would start listening to Pat Flynn. And it was kind of cool because I think I'm pretty sure it was him, but he started talking about the power of publishing, and he started talking about how much it changed his life. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's really great. I never in my life will ever do that. Like, that seems like such a hassle. Oh my gosh. The stress, the responsibility of regularly making something like a podcast, especially, there's no way ever. I'm not ever going to do that. I'm never going to produce a podcast video a YouTube video. I'm never going to produce and I was just totally anti all that. Never going to do a blog. Well, to this date, you guys, I can tell you, this is not my first podcast show. I have a second podcast show, and it has a lot of followers. And I've done I think over 100 blog posts now. I'm close to 100 episodes in my other podcast show, and I have well over almost 350 YouTube videos. They are all over the place. And so I had to step back and ask myself, why did that change? How did that change? And I was at this conference this one time. This guy stood back and he was like, hey, look, here's the deal. You need to become somewhat of an expert in your space, whatever it is, whether it's MLM or e-commerce or whatever it is, info products, you've got to be somewhat of an expert in your space. And one of the easiest ways to get better at your own craft and to become an expert and to have authority. I've been publishing now regularly, actively for almost over a year now, which is awesome. And I am blown away at what it's done for my life. Totally blown away. I was sitting in this conference and this guy's like, look, you gotta publish regularly. And he's like, start a podcast, do something, do whatever. And I was like, duh. And I was actively fighting the thought of trying to do that. And if there's one regret, if there's one thing I could tell myself, my 5 years ago self, it would be to start publishing regularly 5 years ago, not 1 year ago. I can't tell you how much has changed my life. I have spoken on stages. I've done tons of interviews, massive revenue from it. I mean, I can't even, the amount of authority that it's brought, not that I'm trying to be all authoritative, but you guys know what I mean? My messaging, my voice, finding what I'm trying to tell the world has become so much more clear in the last year since I've been publishing regularly. It's brought people to me. It's brought opportunities to me rather than me trying to seek them out all the time. Okay. Regular publishing has changed my life. And so when I started planning the launch of Secret MLM Hacks, the actual product that'll be coming out soon, when I started actually planning the product itself and actually putting it through together, I just about went and just launched it. And I was about to pull the trigger, although it wasn't quite ready yet. I was, I was planning it all out, and I was like, you know what? What if I was to take a group of people, you guys, through my thoughts and why I'm building things the way I am. My internet sales funnels have generated millions of dollars for a lot of big people. And if I was to tell you who, you would recognize a lot of the names. And again, not toot my own horn, not trying to, but it's just because I want you to know where I'm coming from, and that a lot of the things I'm telling you, I hope that you go and you apply it to your own MLM, right? And that's been the topic of this podcast. That's what I'm doing right now. And I want you guys to follow. I want you guys to be a part of that. I want you to come join, the Secret MLM Hacks Facebook page, the community that we have over there. It's fantastic. And I want you to be able to go and get excited about publishing yourself, because publishing has changed my life. Well, I want you to know where I am right now in the launch. So I went through and when I launched this podcast, it was brought to my attention that I've not actually talked about this with you guys yet, and that I should. My outro to my podcast talks about going to secretmlmhacksradio.com, right? And it says, go to secretmlmhacksradio.com and get your free thing. And it's tons of value. I should be charging for it, which is the secret to providing free things. They got to be things that you would charge for. They got to be that good. And I send you through a sales funnel. It's a podcast funnel. I'm not asking for any kind of money, but it's still the equivalent of a funnel, right? There's a first page, and I say, hey, could I get your contact info so I can send you basically the videos and the course every day, right? And then the second page says, hey, if you want to be able to go and actually download these and use them for your entire downline as just a free training, just go ahead and click the share button right here, and the free download will unlock for you, right? You'll get emailed for it. And by the way, if you got any questions that you want actually placed on the actual podcast episodes, go ahead and ask them right here. You know what I mean? There's value that's going out there. Well, what's happening? What happens is you get added to this cool list, and then there's these cool emails that go out that automatically give you the course over the next few days, right? That's what I'm calling a podcast funnel. And the reason that I build it is because this podcast has a means to an end, right? I'm documenting the launch of Secret MLM Hacks, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to teach everybody some of the tactics that I've been using that have been working great. And I get really nervous about saying any kind of numbers for my own recruiting and revenue and things like that. So I just get nervous about it. Like, you always hear people talking about it. I always get nervous that people are going to go like, well, I should be making that too. So that's the reason I don't bring it all up. Just know that it's a lot, and it's doing great, and it's a lot of fun. We've gone on cruises, and I've bought toys, and we've paid off parts of the house, and you know what I mean? Like, it's been great. And whatever that dollar amount means to you, just, I guess you can assign that to it. So, but this podcasting funnel, I just barely launched it. I just barely put it all together, and there's cool tracking pixels on it, and and the reason I'm telling you all this is because I want you to be able to go do the same. And so as a gift, I would love to be able to give you this podcast funnel. It's built on a software called ClickFunnels. And what ends up happening is I can give you one link, and it will literally, in a free trial account, give you the exact podcast funnel. It will literally like spitting it like pixel for pixel, no joke. The whole thing, the exact thing that I built there. If you go to secretmlmhacksradio.com, you actually literally can see all that stuff there, but then it can actually pull in the actual stuff. Now, I did clone that funnel and give you a version where it like took my videos out, and stuff like that. Obviously, if it's my content, I didn't give that part to you. But if you guys, regular publishing has changed my life, and I want you to be able to do the same thing in your own MLM. And so, whatever it is, if it's podcasting, if it's videos, if it's, I know a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll Facebook Live every single day. Whatever it is, choose it and just get regular about it. And there's a group that I coach, how to become millionaires. It's really cool. It's an awesome group, and we got a ton of people in it, a couple hundred people, and it's awesome. And I know I'm being really vague. It's because I'm trying to not like cross promote and stuff like that. So I'm being a little bit vague on purpose. Okay, I get it. But there was somebody in there who's asking like, hey, what platform should I go and begin to regularly publish on? And because I was telling them all in there, like, guys, look, it has completely changed my life to just regularly publish. We got all these cool tools. We live in the 21st century, for crying out loud. There's all these awesome things out there that will help you get your message out there and get noticed. So anyways, in your MLM, if just choose just choose the platform that you want to publish on, whatever platform you spend the most time on. I listen to a ton of podcasts, and I'm on YouTube like crazy. I'm a YouTube junkie. Facebook and I, we've become better friends, but I am huge into YouTube and podcasts. So that's where I do it because I like it. And there's some nuances with creating content. And so that's why I say go do it to a platform that you like, because there's some nuances. You got to actually love it. You got to actually, there's some discipline behind it. So anyway, that's all I'm saying. And that's really the main message of this actual podcast episode, is that you guys, regular publishing. I beg you to publish regularly. I beg you to get out there and be constantly communicating. You guys, a lot of you guys know that I'm in the Army, right? Or I was. And very first thing, this is super cliche, but it's super true. The very first thing you do when you're attacking an enemy is you take out their communication. If you want your downline to die, stop talking to them, right? If you want your downline to totally fail, quit communicating your vision. Quit communicating your goals. Quit communicating all the promos that your upline's doing. Quit communicating all, I think you get it, okay? And even if that's the only group that you're constantly publishing to, all right, I'm not saying I published this out to the world because I've been doing it for a little while, and I'm really excited for a lot of people to hear this. But if all you do is simply communicate on a daily, regular basis through a cool, Facebook Lives, YouTube, whatever it is, regular publishing will do things for you that you cannot even imagine. It will open doors that you didn't know were yours to open. All right, I think I just landed another speaking gig. They're still setting it up, but they just approached me about it, and I'm super stoked about it. Those would not have happened if I had not already been publishing like crazy, okay? Every time I click publish on this podcast, it gets syndicated. It goes and it gets published out to YouTube, and it goes to Twitter, and it goes to Google Play and iHeartRadio, and it goes all over the place. In my other podcast show, it goes all over. It goes to my blog. It goes to it goes all over. And what's so crazy is I hate Twitter, but it gets pushed there automatically. I hate. I don't really like Instagram. I don't really like. I don't understand Tumblr. I don't understand. Those aren't platforms that I like to be on, and that's fine. But I know that they have audiences there, and if you really actually want to get your message out there, you've got to be publishing regularly. You'll start to get a following, just like you're following me right now. You'll get a following. You'll start to create your own culture. You'll create your own voice. You will find your voice. You'll find the message. You'll get more clear on what you're actually offering and how to sell your product, right? Your MLM as an opportunity or as the product or service. Anyway, that's all I've got for you guys. That's all. And so all I'm telling you as far as where I am in the launch period right now is I had already previously launched my podcast funnel, but I just hadn't actually told you guys about it because I just forgot about it. So it's doing insanely well. We got a ton of people in the free course right now taking it, and they're loving it, which is great. And people are sharing it with their downlines. So anyways, I guess as far as a shameless plug, I wasn't planning this, but go get the free masters. It's called the MLM Masters Pack, and it's 5 videos that I shot. I went and I looked at what the top MLMers were actually doing in MLM as a whole, and I went and I saw the courses they were doing, and I saw all these videos and all these things that they're doing, all the free training, and I went and I transcribed them by hand, and then I went and I changed them just enough. I wasn't copying, wasn't plagiarizing, but I added in a ton of stuff about sales funnels and how to use that. And anyway, I packaged it up in these cool videos, and it's totally yours for free, which is awesome if you go there. So anyways, guys, hopefully that helps. Hopefully I changed some of the paradigm for you on why you should publish regularly and what it'll actually do for your MLM team and your downline and growing your team and the longevity it will bring to you. It's insane. Super cool. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. See you on the next episode. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening. Please remember to subscribe and leave feedback. Would you like me to teach your own downline 5 simple MLM recruiting tips for free? If so, go download your free MLM Masters Pack by subscribing to this podcast at secretmlmhacksradio.com.